Well, guys, I think a lot of tools in our Bushcraft collection are about to bow down in homage before what Joker Knives has crafted and presented to you and me, the knife lover, in 2023. I'm talking about the Bush Lord from Joker Knives with Sleipner steel. Rockweld 63 on the Rockwell scale. This is a new blade steel that they are using. We're going to unpack all of it today. I took this as my dedicated belt knife on one of my backpacking adventures in the Rocky Mountains this summer, and I am so glad I did because it well exceeded my expectations and capability as the dedicated belt knife that I took with me. And staying true to their roots, Joker Knives has always provided value. You know, you're getting Spanish made, usually with N6 95 or with Sandvik 14C28N, but you can score those here in the States for under $100 often for many of their models. This Sleipner version, depending on variant that you go with, this handle version with a base sheath, currently on Amazon here in the States is $121. Spanish made with this deal, I mean, $121. If you go with like curly birch and the more upgraded with like fire steel sheath, it's about $165. So, and there are a few variants in price variants in between. So I will have links throughout this video below to this, as well as a couple competitive options I will run in. But I mean, wow, to be able to provide that for us. So we're going to dive in and have a blast sharing with you how it has performed while I've thumped on it and its capabilities, and if there are any limitations, what those might be and what better options may exist out there, as we do in every video. Thanks for joining me today. I'm Aaron. This is Gideon's Tactical, and we might as well dive in just with these sheaths really quick. The more premium version you're going to get is this excellent leather sheath, drainage hole, double stitch, rivets in there. I mean, a good leather sheath like this, you can pay 60 bucks to have them custom made, 80 bucks sometimes. This will have a matching, whatever handle material you get, fire steel, big, nice, thick fire steel that holds into place there. Excellent retention. I mean, that thing is not falling out. One of the best parts is that you have this really good belt loop for a higher ride, but a circular D-ring that you can remove that, or you got this dangler with the leather double snap right there. So, I mean, the carry options are excellent and super well done. And then you can just get a base model, still will have that exact same style in the back, dangler, all that stuff, D-ring, or circular ring, I guess, but just won't have this fire steel attachment, basically. So if you really like your fire steels, then that is an option. And this does have a razor sharp spine to be able to scrape, but also throw those sparks really, really well. Now, the Bush Lord, and Joker calls it Bush Lord. I guess originally when it was released, it was Bush Lore. So when you're searching for them, you may have to type in Bush Lore, because some sites are still saying Bush Lore, but my understanding and how Joker communicates, it is Bush Lord, and I do appreciate them hooking me up with this model so I can unpack its capabilities for us. And it is designed as a more heavy-duty bushcraft knife. It's definitely not like super thin and finesse and all that. If you want more brute-ishness, and for me, like when I went on my backpacking trip, I wanted to have some pretty good durability there. That's what this is going to have, about 7 ounces for the blade weight, and then about 3.5 ounces more with just the base leather sheath. So you're looking at about 10 ounces overall carry. You are looking at 4.5 inches of blade length and then 4.5 inches of handle length, so 9 inches total. And it's going to have a spine thickness of 5/32 or 0.16. So I think that is definitely on the, you know, a lot of them are more like an eighth. Like the more GERBER, I believe, is like at 0.13 or 0.14 on the thickness, but that is that full tin construction. It's still, with the Scandi grind, an excellent woodworking tool, but going to have a little bit more durability, a little bit more weight to get the harder work done. You're not going to be concerned with doing harder tasks, but you still get the finesse of that Scandi grind with an excellent tip. The tip is very robust, really, really well done. So piercing, prying, cracking open like bark to get certain tasks done, you're not going to worry about like snapping the tip on this thing. It's very durable for that style. And then the Scandi grind, able to catch the edge of the wood very easily to make those really nice fine finesse curls and notches and whatever you may be doing with the tool. And because of the very nice gradual flat spine, you can put pressure wherever you want, and there's not going to be like jimping or, you know, like clips to worry about to cause pain when you're doing pressure on the tool. You do get just a little bit There's no sharpening ricasso, but it is a little bit off the scale. So you should be able to get very, 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 very close to the edge. Maybe less than a millimeter. You might not be able to sharpen right there. That's just kind of the case with a lot of Scandi grinds, just kind of the way they are. Now, Sleipner steel is a next-gen D2. So it takes kind of the formula of D2 and then soups it up a little bit, giving it better toughness and giving it better wear resistance. From my experience, a lot of knife companies over in Europe, particularly like Lion Steel and companies that use Lion Steel as their manufacturer, use Sleipner. I've had it on plenty of blades. I've seen great performance out of it. It is going to take a little bit to resharpen over like a 1095, style of blade. And it kind of sits between D2 and A2. Some people have said, like, it's really close to M390. It's not M390, okay? It's not M390 in rust resistance, and it's not M390 in edge retention. It's good, but it's not that. So they're good for this size. Excellent choice, and it's going to hold its edge for quite a long period of time and have relatively good rust resistance for that semi-stainless steel, tool steel that Sleipner is. Now, before I hit the girthy handle with you and then look at some competitive options, I do want to give a quick shout out to today's sponsor, which is LA Police Gear. Now, they've been giving us access to tons of excellent brands for over 20 years. But you may not be aware that they are a direct supplier of Danner boots and footwear, and they've recently gotten a large influx of styles and designs for both men and women. And so I recently picked up a pair of their Free Spirit Monk's Robe hiking boots, and my wife scored a pair of their Inquire Chukka boots, and they have been our constant companions as we've been exploring the Rocky Mountains this fall. And with plenty of designs to choose from their trail runners to more casual designs, hiking boots, and hunting boots, you'll be able to find the right style for your next adventure. And so guys, I'll have a link in the description below this video over to the LA Police Gear website, as well as my exclusive 10% off promo code, so that you can apply that site-wide to any gear purchase that you wish, regardless if it's Danner boots or other gear and equipment in general. So hop on over and see all they have to offer. The handle is really beefy, and I appreciate that. As someone with large size hands, having something that's 4.5 inches long, but having a maximum thickness right here at that palm swell of 0.92, almost an inch wide right there, is awesome. And it's fully contoured. There is not a lip or an edge anywhere on this blade. Super, super well done. Got some nice little liners in there. Now, this is the walnut handle. It's slick, okay? I mean, that's just kind of the way this is. If they have a micarta version, it will be high polish like most of their knives, and then there will be that curly birch. And it just depends on availability, and your preference will determine also pricing. The walnut, I believe, is the cheapest version to my knowledge. We got double pinned in. You can't feel the pins at all. Got that little bit of a guard there, just to kind of lock you into place. It does taper just a little bit right there. But I mean, even the flare out the back helps if you're doing some delimbing. And this definitely has enough weight that you can get through like a thumb thickness. Obviously not for chopping, but if you needed to delimb something really quick, or a branch, just you don't want to go get the hatchet or whatever, you have that ability with this tool. And then just because of how organic it is, you're going to be able to grip it in different ways, and it's not going to create any hot spots anywhere. If anything, it would just be the low traction aspect that other blades may offer. And you will have some rounding back there that you could do some pommeling of a 10 peg. That the handle scales, it's going to because they're not like synthetic, like G10 or something, it's going to probably mar those pretty good. So I wouldn't recommend that, but it has enough of a flat spot. Even the shoulders right here are perfectly symmetrical, and that's going to allow you to get your thumb right on there, do a pull cut whoosh, like that, get your index finger, or your middle finger, excuse me, and then do a pull cut. So ergonomically superb, and there's going to be a lot of variant options to give you that more organic, natural look instead of like synthetic polymers. Now, what about competitive options? Because this is definitely on the heavier, thicker end of bushcraft knives. For some people, you just prefer lighter, thinner tools. For me, I like to have one of each, and depending on what I'm doing, if it's a dedicated blade, I would gravitate more to this like I did on my backpacking trip. If I'm bringing multiple tools, I'm bringing a hatchet, I got maybe a larger survival knife or machete with me, then I tend to gravitate more to the thinner, lighter tools, and that's what I have as some options. Now, sticking with Joker to begin with, we have the Ember. This is Sandvik 14C28N. You can get it with Scandi or a full flat. Very similar profile, but it's just a more compact, lighter weight tool. You're going to get that full tank construction, different handle scale options. You're going to have basically a 4-inch cutting edge, 4.2 on the overall blade length, and it's going to be 0.14 on the thickness. So it's just thinner stock, lighter weight, but you will be getting very similar, you know, matching fire steel as an option, sheath. Now, the older versions, you don't get that cool D-ring, but you're going to get all that same attachment. The more inexpensive versions go for about 90, and I've seen them go up to about like 115. So it just shows you what that Bush Lord is providing. So that's one variant. Then if we flip, the Heligop is an excellent lightweight option. I love this blade. It's so beautiful. Curly birch handle, rat tail tang out the back, made in Norway. Now, this has Sandvik 12C27 steel, and though that is a decent steel and they do a good heat treat, it is nowhere near in competing with the edge retention and wear resistance that Sleipner has. It's going to be 1/8 of an inch thick, very beautiful finish, pretty simple but very effective sheath right there, leather, and runs about the same cost, about like 130, 135 last I checked. But that is a great, very light, finesse, beautiful, you know, definitely I wouldn't be doing tons of batoning and slamming through this, and you would definitely need to pair this with a large machete or hatchet. And now this American-made knife that just doesn't get a lot of love, I feel, is the Tops Knives Dragonfly. Now this one is very similar in size, like dimensionally, to the Joker. You can get that beautiful like Canadian style. There's some sort of like Canadian vibe going on there. Very gradual, but micarta with flow-through pins. The handle, though longer by a little bit, will be slimmer. Just to show you there. It's definitely longer, but it's a little bit slimmer. But beautiful scanning grind on 1095 high carbon steel. And that's going to be a very precise, like 1/8 of an inch thick. You can get an excellent leather sheath, very heavy duty, snap button with a matching fire steel, holds in the place there. And this one is going to be right around, I think, like 140 to 160 last I checked. So again, I'll have all these provided in the links below, depending on, you know, what you might be interested in. So there are some options for us to consider, but what the Bush Lord is offering and what's the direction that Joker Knives is now going with, using some Sleipner steel and still keeping it at an insane value. There is a ton to love about this design, and just I'm super pumped to see the direction that they're going in. But I want to hear from you guys. Does this type of knife make sense, particularly this kind of overbuilt feel? Do you like that? Do you prefer with the slim finesse? And I just appreciate you guys coming over and checking out this video. I hope it's been fun and entertaining for all you blade addicts. I invite you to check out the other video popping up, to subscribe if you haven't yet. And until next time, always remember, stay equipped, stay prepared, and I'll see you out there.